related to the entrepreneurship, startups, the different legal formalities. Now, in the second unit, that is customer discovery, we'll be talking more about the customers, the customer validation, and different aspects related to customer discovery. In that, first is your entrepreneurial opportunity search and identification. So before we start any entrepreneurial venture, first of all, we will have to understand the opportunity for entrepreneurship. We'll have to first find out the opportunity, and then we'll have to start planning related to that particular entrepreneurial venture. So entrepreneurial opportunity search and identification is the first step. So in this opportunity, how do we define that opportunity? The opportunity is a favorable set of circumstances that creates need for a new product, service, or business. So here opportunity, wherever there is favorable situation, wherever we can launch any new product, service, or business, that favorable set of circumstances can be called as an opportunity. That opportunity has four essential qualities. Every opportunity has different qualities. These four essential qualities is attractive. That opportunity must be attractive. Attractive in the sense it should be marketable. It should be it should be acceptable to the customers. It should be beneficial to the customer as well as society as a whole, and it should be profitable. So opportunity should be attractive. It should be timely. It should be durable. It should be long lasting. It should not be that it is for a very short time. It should be durable. It should be for a longer period of time. Then it should be anchored in a product, service, or business that creates or adds value for its business or end user. So that opportunity must be in a context of any product, service, or any business should be created out of that opportunity that can add value to the customers or the users, that should solve the problems of the customers. In identifying this opportunity, there are three different ways. How do we identify an opportunity? The three different ways is: first is observing trends, second is solving a problem, and third is finding the gaps in the marketplace. The first step is observing trends. So trends in the environment which is surrounding the business, that trends need to be observed. Trends create opportunities for entrepreneurs to pursue. So entrepreneurs should have an eye over all these trends, how these trends are moving, which are all the trends are there in the environment, how they are moving. These important trends may be economic forces, social forces, technological advances, political action, and regulatory change. And it is important to be aware of changes in these areas. So an entrepreneur must be aware of all these entrepreneurial opportunities or different trends which are going in the environment, and then he had to think of these trends, identify the different opportunities out of these trends. So these environmental trends suggest business or a product opportunity gaps. So whatever these forces we have discussed, economic forces are there. Economic forces may include the state of economy, level of disposable income of the customers, customer spending patterns. Different social forces like social and cultural trends, demographic changes are there, and how people what they think is in. That means what they believe. Then technological advances is there. New technologies are there. New technologies are emerging. The new uses of old technologies are there. There are also political as well as regulatory changes, as we discussed. There are new changes in the political arena. New laws and regulations are being formed, implemented. So all these forces like economic forces, social forces, then technological advances, political and regulatory changes. All these are useful for identifying the opportunity, or the, we can say, the gap in the particular environment where we can position our product, service, or business. So this overall, all these factors or these trends, they can help us to identify the business or product or service opportunity gap. That is the difference between what is available and what is possible. So what is available in the market as per the different trends, and what can be possible, what can be offered to the market. So all that, and then this can help us to evolve into new business, product, or service ideas. Getting this? Any query till now? Going ahead, the second approach is solving a problem. So while the entrepreneur is looking around for an opportunity, there may be different problems in and around the society which can be solved by providing certain product, service, or establishing certain business. So this is a second approach by solving some problem. And there may be sometimes identifying opportunities simply involves noticing a problem and finding a way to solve it. These problems can be pinpointed through observing trends and through more simple means as intuition, serendipity, or change. So these problems which can be observed in the environment, in the different trends, they can be understood and they can be identified as an opportunity through intuition, that is the feeling, inner feeling based on judgment. Serendipity is there, that means coincidence or different changes. So these opportunities can be found out by solving a problem, trying to solve some social problem which we can observe in and around the environment. So particular example, if we take the problem facing in US and other countries for the finding alternative sources to fossil fuels. So this may be a problem. So the fossil fuels, finding an alternative to fossil fuels. So by identifying this type of a particular problem, particular business or particular product or particular service can be established. Like a large number of entrepreneurial firms like this wind farm are being launched to solve this problem. So large number of wind mills, wind farms are being launched for solving this type of problem, to find out fossil fuels, to find out alternative for fossil fuels. Then the third approach in identifying an opportunity is finding the gaps in the marketplace. So identifying the different gaps in a particular market, what is not being served to the market. So understanding that can give you an idea of opportunity where you can place your product, service, or your business. So this third approach to identify opportunities is to find gap in the marketplace. Gap in the marketplace is often created when a product or service is needed by the specific group of people, but does not represent a large enough market to be of interest to mainstream retailers or manufacturers. So there may be a small market which is not being touched, which is not being served by other competitors, or no company is serving to that market. But particularly identifying that particular gap in the marketplace can give you an idea of opportunities, different opportunities where you can start your business. Here is one example of Tish Sirowolf. In 2000, she realized that there were no guitars on the market made specifically for the woman. There were no guitars for specifically for women. So this Sirowal identified that there is a gap in the market. In the market, this type of product is not being offered. That is guitars for women. So to fill this gap, she started Daisy Rock Guitars, a company that makes guitars only for women. So that gap is being filled by a product which is specifically made for women. So this is a full view of opportunity recognition process which we have discussed till now. This depicts the connection between awareness of emerging trends and personal characteristics of the entrepreneur. So till now what we have discussed related to different environmental trends. So along with that environmental trends like economic force factors, social factors, technological advances, political and regulatory changes. So along with all these environmental trends, the personal characteristics of an entrepreneur, like prior experience of an entrepreneur related to that particular product, service or business, cognitive factor that is related to his knowledge, related to his memory, related to his understanding. Then social networks can also help identify different opportunities, and then his own creativity. So with all those environmental trends and personal characteristics, the different gaps can be identified, which can create opportunities for the entrepreneur, so that he can start a business. So business, product or service opportunity gap can be identified, that is the difference between what is available and what is possible, which can further generate into new business, product and service ideas. Are you getting till now?
Yes, sir.
For generating different ideas for a particular product, service or opportunities, there are different techniques. The technique can be brainstorming, focus groups, or library and internet search. So brainstorming is a technique wherein you go on identifying different ideas or jotting down different ideas related to particular business, product or service. So through brainstorming sessions, maybe in a group or maybe alone. So that brainstorming session, giving thought to what possible ideas can be there. So that brainstorming sessions can be there. There can be focus groups wherein 8 to 10 people can come together and have a discussion on what type of different new ideas can be generated. So that focus group also is there. Then library and internet search is there. So this type of secondary research through library and internet search, that can be also one of the source from where we can generate the different ideas for new businesses. Going further, we will have to understand the market intelligence. So market intelligence is a concept wherein we have to understand that any entrepreneur or any manager needs to have information for taking any decision. The manager or entrepreneur has to take different decisions on day-to-day basis, which are important for his business or his entrepreneurship. And for taking all these decisions, he needs to have information, and that information must be usable or in the form which can be used to take quality decisions. And marketing intelligence is one of the tool wherein that marketing intelligence can provide this type of information which can be used for taking correct decisions. So as per this definition, MI, that is market intelligence, is the everyday information relevant to company's market, which is gathered, analyzed specifically for the purpose of accurate and confident decision making in determining market opportunity, market strategy and market development. So this type of market information is very important for taking correct decisions, as well as to for the different purposes like market opportunities, identifying the different market opportunities, the formulation of different marketing strategies, the market development. For collecting this information of marketing intelligence, marketing managers must be in constant touch. So they have to be open and feel the environment related to the different competitors, the different relevant books may be there, newspapers may be there, the trade publications are there. So he need to in touch with all these things which can provide him information which can be further processed and used for decision making. So whatever information is available in and around his environment, he need to sort the information. What information is relevant, what information may be useful for taking a particular decision. So only relevant information need to be extracted from the different sources. That information can be processed and then further used for taking the decisions. So why market intelligence? Why we require market intelligence? What is the need for market intelligence? So it is basically market intelligence is acquiring and analyzing the information in order to understand the market. So market intelligence is important for understanding the market, also to determine the current as well as future needs of the customers and their preferences, their attitudes, the behavior of the market. So this market intelligence is very important to understand all these things related to market. So that is the different future trends, current trends, preferences, attitudes, and behavior of the market. And that information is very important for a manager to take decisions related to the offering to the market. Marketing intelligence is also necessary when entering into the foreign market. So when you are entering into a foreign market, market intelligence, that is every information about that particular market related to the different trends, the preferences, attitudes, behavior, the different likes, dislikes, the different buying patterns, the different situations, economic conditions, the spending patterns. So all that marketing intelligence related to that particular market before entering into a foreign market, that is also very important aspect for market intelligence. Then what are the different objectives of the market intelligence? What this market intelligence is opting for? So this is what objectives maybe first to provide market and customer orientation. Market intelligence can provide you the market and customer orientation, so you understand what are the need of the market as well as the customers. Identification of different new opportunities. By understanding this market, you can get to know what are the different opportunities in the market, so that you can provide different products as services and build on your business. So to identify new trends in the markets and competitors, who are all the different competitors, what are their strengths, weaknesses, what are their strategies, what are their products, what strategies they are using, different new trends may be there in the market. Then minimizing the investment risk to detect threats and early market trends. By identifying different early market trends and as well, also by understanding the different threats which might be there in the future, you can minimize the risks. Further, to provide better customer interaction and to give intensified customer market view. So to improve the customer interaction, having intensified customer market view, information for better market selection and positioning, and to understand, discover untapped or unrevealed or unserved potential of the market. So by understanding this market, you get to know the market, what market can be better for selection, what positioning can be there. Then understanding and discovering different untapped and unserved potential in the market. Who are the different untapped segments, untapped needs which can be served by offering certain products or service. Then further, to give quicker and more efficient cost effective information in order to avoid duplication of report acquisition and extensive consultant work. So for giving quicker, more efficient and cost effective information and avoid duplication of report acquisitions and extensive consultant work. So by avoiding duplication of same to same duplicate reports, by reducing this expenses, having a good market intelligence, you can save on time as well as cost. Any query till now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Further, Another concept is related to market analysis. Market analysis is a broader concept. Market analysis is exercise of analyzing the market, which could include your own company as well as the competitors, the business context, as well as the customers. So market analysis is a little bit more broad concept wherein you understand the entire market, the composition of the market, what are the different companies, what are the different industries, competitors, the different business context, and the customers. This is an exercise of observing and exploring market or an industry. So market analysis is an exercise. It is an activity of observing as well as exploring market or an industry. The implicit objective of this market analysis is to understand and to model how the model works, how the market works, with an objective of knowing about the market potential, the competitors, the customers, and other stakeholders. So market analysis can help you to understand how this market works, the what with what objective of knowing the market potential can be understood, the what the information related to competitors, the customers, as well as the other stakeholders who are directly or indirectly associated with the business. Then different dimensions of the market analysis, what all can include in market analysis. The different dimensions are market size, understanding the market size, market potential, the target customers, who are all the target customers, the information related to the target customers, the growth rate of the market, the different trends in the market, the market profitability, what are the key success factor in that particular market, the distribution channels prevailing in that particular market, and industry cost structure, what is the particular industry cost structure in that particular market. Then another concept which comes is market research. So market research is specific, which is related to solving a particular problem. So it is a systematic objective collection and information analysis of data about a specific target market, competition, and environment. This market research involves collecting information through either primary as well as secondary research. So marketing research can be done through primary as well as secondary research, primary or secondary resources. However, this market research will be specific for a particular solving a particular problem or particular issue related to a particular topic. So it is systematic objective collection of analysis of data for target market, competition, environment, and it involves primary as well as secondary information. Further, this research is usually focused in its nature based, usually testing a hypothesis or getting to know the customers. So in market research, usually we test a hypothesis, we have our assumptions, we test those assumptions by collecting the information and then understanding the customers. This market research will be specific to a particular target market, as we discussed. This market research will be specific for a particular target market and to the customers. A market research is conducted with a particular question in mind. So the market research will start with a particular question in a mind, and then collecting the data, analyzing the data, and solving that particular problem. So again, market research begins with one or multiple research questions in mind. There can be one or more such types of research questions, and this research is conducted to get a particular quantifiable answer to the question. So all this research may be conducted to get a quantifiable answer to a particular question. Example can be a particular marketing manager, for example, needs to decide whether to launch a new product or not. So that may be a particular problem. So he plans to conduct research to find out the product acceptance. So this problem of whether to launch a particular problem or not. So he, on the basis of this problem, he can have this research question, that is to conduct a research so as to find out what is the product acceptance from the customers. So if there is a acceptance for that particular product or service from the customers, it will be it can be we can decide to launch that particular product. If it is not accepted by the customers, so there is no question of launching that particular product. So for solving this particular problem, the market research has taken this question of conducting a research on finding out the product acceptance for that particular product or service by the customers. So for startups, the startups can use this market research for various purpose of making decisions. The decision can be taken at different stages. For example, we have taken here at the ideation stage. The market research can be useful to understand which ideas to pursue. So which ideas are potential, which ideas are feasible to be pursued or can be developed further for starting a particular business. Then concept stage. At concept stage, the market research can be done for understanding will the market accept the concept. Then at developmental stage, the market research can be conducted for understanding can the design product compete in the market. Then at a launching stage, the question may be what presents the best marketing strategy, the most useful sales channels, and what is the best launch plan. After launching that particular product, there can be post-launch research can be conducted for understanding which direction should further product and market development should take. So at various stages of entrepreneurship, the entrepreneur can make use of market research for taking different decisions. Is there any query till now?
No, sir.
So going further, we'll be talking about the concept of customer validation. So customer validation is another stage which is important for understanding the acceptance by the customers, to understand before launching whether that product can be launched and in which form that particular product or service can be launched. So at customer validation, we usually refer to customer testing in real unreleased products. So unreleased products, before launching the products, the customers are being tested for that particular product and service. So it is testing in real unreleased product and features in real environment over an extended period of time. This research discipline allows you to collect representative customer feedback to produce and release more successful products. So by collecting the feedback from customers related to that unreleased product, you can make changes in your product and you can have more and more better versions of your product so that your products can become successful in the market. Why should any company invest in customer validation? So there are different reasons why a company should invest in customer validation. First of all is there may be fewer channels, increase risk after release. So there may be fewer channels, having a few channels for distribution of that particular product can be risky for that particular business. So in a customer validation phase, we can understand that what type of distribution channels are feasible, what are the different channels are available. Then the audience has changed. We can understand that the audience has changed. The audience, that is the customers, are changed. They are dynamic. Their behavior is changing, and therefore customer validation is important. So if we understand the changed behavior of the customer in validation phase only, so we can have a chance to modify that particular product before we actually launch that particular product in the market. Then third reason or third objective is can be products have become far more complex and interconnected. So products have become complex as well as they are interconnected to each other. Different products are interconnected to each other. They need compatibility with each other. So if we have a customer validation, you can understand the connectivity of that particular product or service with other products or other compounds of the market, and then you can probably be in a better position to launch that particular product. Going further in customer validation is a important phase in a product life cycle. So it is a critical juncture, that is a very important phase in a product life cycle. It evaluates all the different aspects of a particular product, specific features, like there can be features of quality, user experience, documentations, as well as messages. So these different aspects of product as well as features we can evaluate, and after this evaluation we can understand the different opportunities for improvement of these facets before we release that particular product or service in the market. Then customer validation and returns on investment. So having a customer validation program, we can have as a result the return on investment of customer validation. We can have a good returns on investment. Very small investment is required for customer validation. Customer validation can require a very small investment. However, it will pay for itself many times over the decreasing cost as well as increasing the sales as you release better versions of your product. So customer validation requires a very little investment. However, better customer validation program can help you to reduce the cost as well as increasing the sales before you actually launch that particular product. Further in customer validation, every product with a customer will benefit from customer validation. So customer validation can be applicable to every type of product, any type of product as well as service. This customer validation can be helpful. See, customer validation is most visibly associated with cutting edge B2B products, B2C products, business to customer products, that may be smart home products and wearables, whatever we wear, like shoes, watch, clothes. So different products, any product with an end user benefits from pre-release market validation. It is critical. This customer validation is critical to all type of different product types. There may be hardware there, software may be there, different services. It is important for products with all type of audiences, all type of audiences as well as customers, businesses as well as enterprise. So customer validation can be applicable to everywhere, and it can help you to introduce better version or better products or services to your target segments. Is it understood till now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Going further, in customer validation itself, we'll understand different aspects related to customer validation in detail. So customer validation stretches across few different departments. So it can be an activity of few departments and contribute to quality, user experience and market research efforts. about half of the different customer validation programs are executed by product managers. So product managers, they execute this type of customer validation programs, with other half being spread across various departments. So various other departments also may involve in customer validation process, starting with there may be different departments like engineering, customer research, as well as support teams. The demand as the demand for responsiveness, integrated customer product grows, more and more companies are dedicating the team specifically for customer validation. So demand for responsive as well as integrated products is there, and therefore more and more companies nowadays, they have a dedicated team for customer validation activity. And this dedicated customer validation activity, this allows customer validation function to fully support the efforts of the relevant stakeholders by providing meaningful pre-release product insight. So this will help the pre-release insight into a product. This allows customer validation to fully support efforts of all relevant stakeholders, those who are directly or indirectly associated with the particular business, by providing pre-release product insight. So customer validation through proper customer validation, it provides meaningful pre-release product insight, so that you can understand what are the different changes which are needed, so that that product or service can become acceptable to the customers, or can be more acceptable to the customers. Understood till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Going further, we have to understand the concept of business model. So what is a business model? That we have to first of all understand. This model is a company's plan. Business model means it is a company's plan for making a profit, how a company can make a profit. So that is a business model. What is that company? What is the purpose? What are the different objectives of that particular company, and how that company can make profit? What are the revenue sources for that particular business? So understanding and making a framework of all these aspects can be called as a business model. So this business model identifies products and services the business will sell, the target market it has identified, and the expenses it anticipates. So three important areas which it deals with is identification of products and services the business will sell, what all products and services the business is into, the target market which it has identified, and expenses to serve those markets. So these are three important aspects in a business model. So these three parts of business model. First is everything it takes to make something. What is required for making something? Something means that product, service, or whatever you are offering. So what everything it takes to make something? That may be the design, the raw materials, manufacturing, labor, and many more things. Secondly, everything that takes to sell that everything. Everything that takes to sell that particular thing, that is product or service. What is required for selling those things? That is, the marketing may be there, distribution is required, delivering a particular service, and processing the sale. Then third is how and what the company pays, where the company has to do the, or where the company has to pay for, how that company will get paid. So for that, what is required is pricing strategies. What will be the pricing strategy for that particular product or service, the different payment methods, payment timings, and many more things which are related to the making the payment or generating the revenue. Then what are the different elements of a strong business model? So for a business model, what are the different elements? First is identify your specific audience. For a business model, successful and strong business model, you will have to first of all understand what is your specific audience, what is your target market, whom you are going to serve, what are the different characteristics of that audience, what are their requirements, what are their preferences. Then second is establish different business processes. Understand what all different business processes are required to fulfill that particular requirement of that particular customer segments. Establish those particular business processes. Then record key business resources. So in a business model, you have to also understand and record what all key business resources we have. That resource may be monetary, non-monetary resources. So list out and record the key business resources. Then develop a strong value proposition. So develop a strong value proposition for market. How that business is going to offer a value to the market. Value proposition means the promise the particular business is making to the customers or the market related to what they are offering. So while developing a strong value proposition, we have to see to it that the customer should find value in what we are offering. So therefore, the value proposition must be such that it should communicate value to the customer, value for that particular offering, that may be product or service, to the customers in the customer's mind or the competitors. Next is determine the key business partners. So understand what all the different components of the business, what all components, which all the different parts of that particular business wherein we are partnering. So understand different key business partners for that particular business. Then create a demand generation strategy. So with everything in the place, we have to understand how we can generate the demand. So having a demand for that particular business is very important, and making that demand remain constant and continuously generating that demand over a period of time, that is very important. Therefore the business model also should speak how that demand can be generated over time, and also it should leave a room for innovation. Also there should be a space for an innovation. So how innovation can be brought into that particular business, that also should be given a thought. So because innovation is important in order to establish your business in the market, establish the superiority of your business or your offering into the market or the different competitors. So that innovation can make a difference. So innovation can differentiate your product in the market or the competitors. So a component of innovation need to be there in a business model. So going further, this can be a business model canvas. Is this diagram visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this diagram is Osterwalder's business model canvas template. This business model will speak about all these components which need to be there in a business model. So there can be key partners, for that particular business. Just now whatever we have discussed, all that is there in this business model. So list out different key partners for your business, then key activities in that particular business, key resources which are available with the business, key proposition of the business, value proposition for that particular business, how we are what we are promising to the customers, so how we are communicating the value to the customers. That value proposition need to be there. Customer relationships, how we develop the customer relationship with the customers, what will be our strategies, then different channels, the different customer segments which we will be dealing with, then cost structure, what will be the cost structure for our product or service, so that cost structure is there. Then different revenue streams, how that revenue can be generated, through which all ways. So all that can be a part of a good business model. Have you understood this business model? Is the business model understood? Yogesh?
Yes, sir.
So going further in business model itself, we have to understand why this business model, why we should have a business model. The business model is essential for attracting the investment, for getting an investment from different investors. You have to have a strong business model which can convince the investors so that they can invest in your business. This business model can be useful for recruiting the talent, recruiting good people, and motivating the management as well as the staff. So this business model is very important for attracting investments, having a good pool of talent, and motivating the management as well as staff. So established businesses also, this is not for only startups, also the established businesses can also revisit their business model. They can also look at their business model and they can update their business plans more often, and they will and if they do not do that, they will fail to anticipate trends and challenges which are there ahead in the future. Investors need to review and evaluate the business plans of companies that interest them. So as we discussed, the investors need to review this business model, and therefore this business model need to be there in the place. The investor need to review this model so that they can evaluate, they can understand the worth of that particular business model, so that they can invest in that particular business model. Going further, how this business model works. The business model is a high level plan for profitably operating a particular business in a specific marketplace. So business model is a high level market plan for it is an overall picture of a market plan for profitably operating a particular business in a specific marketplace. So business model is in a essence, it is a particular model or particular plan which can directs you, or which can guide you for profitably operating particular business in that particular marketplace. A primary component of this business model is value proposition. So value proposition is a primary component in business model. What value we are offering to the customers or the market or the society, that is very important. What value we are offering, what promise we are making to the customers. Does the customers find value in your proposal or your offerings? So that is very important. And this business model is a description of what goods or services that company offers. Business model also depicts what goods and services company offers, why they are desirable to the customers or the clients, ideally stated in a way that differentiate the product or service from its competitors. So all these whatever products, services, the how this model is or the business is desirable to the customers as well as clients, that need to be stated in such a way that it should differentiate your product or service from all the competitors. So this is a business model which helps the startups as well as established businesses, and it has different objectives and different benefits of having a good business model, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any query till now, whatever we have discussed?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay then. What we'll do is now we'll stop here. Okay, thank you.
सर क्वेरी सर ते टेस्ट आजच द्यायची आहे का सर? ते सरांनी मेसेज पाठवला
कोणती टेस्ट?
मॉक टेस्टचा मेसेज आला
मॉक टेस्ट.
तर बघा तुम्हाला SMS काही आलाय का? SMS ईमेल युनिव्हर्सिटीचा?
नाही सर
नाही
अजून
सर.
जर का आलं नसेल तर तुमच्या एक्झामचं जे लॉगिन आहे जिथं तुम्ही फॉर्म भरता तिथं तुम्ही जाऊन बघा. तिथं तुमचं काही युजर नेम पासवर्ड काही दिलेला असेल तर तो युजर नेम पासवर्ड टाकून तुम्ही बघा ओपन होतं का, आणि ओपन होतं
सर
का?
नाही. सर नाही दिलेला तिकडे.
नाहीये का?
नाही सर.
जुना चालेल का सर? मग
जुना पण टाकून नाही, जुना बहुतेक चालायची शक्यता कमी आहे, परंतु टाकून बघा. जर का झालं तर ठीक आहे.
ठीक आहे.
आणि नसेल होत तर काय करू शकत नाही ना आपण. नसेल, जर का तुम्हाला ID पासवर्ड युजर नेम पासवर्ड आला नसेल नवीन किंवा जुन्या पासवर्डने होत नसेल त्याचा अर्थ ते तुमच्यासाठी नसणार. काय?
ओके
ठीक आहे, बघा. पण ट्राय करून बघायला हरकत नाही. बघा ट्राय करून.
सर ते एक्झाम फी कशी पे करायची सर?
ती ऑनलाईनच पे करायची तुम्हाला यावेळेस. तुम्हाला काय करायचं
ऑप्शन
पहिला
कुठे
म्हणजे
येणार आहे?
सांगतो ना.
फॉर्म वगैरे
तुम्ही-
भरला गेला?
तुम्ही पहिल्यांदा फॉर्म ज्यावेळेस भरताना तुम्ही एक तर फॉर्म भरताना काळजीपूर्वक फॉर्म भरा. जे तुम्हाला सब्जेक्ट दिलेले आहेत तुमचं स्पेशलायझेशन बघा कुठलं आहे, आणि स्पेशलायझेशननुसार तुमचं सब्जेक्ट जे आहेत ते तुम्ही तुमच्या एक्झाम फॉर्ममध्ये भरायचे आहेत. एक्झाम फॉर्म तुम्ही एकदा व्यवस्थित भरला की मग आम्हाला तो कॉलेजला इथं फॉर्म जो आहे तो दिसतो, आणि तो जर फॉर्म भरला तुम्ही पहिलं म्हणजे ते फॉर्म जो भरलेला आहे त्याची कॉपी तुम्ही त्या ईमेलवर पाठवायची. तुम्हाला जो ईमेल ID प्रोव्हाइड केलेला आहे त्या मेसेजमध्ये, एकदा तो तुमचा फॉर्म भरलेला वेळेस आहे की नाही हे चेक केलं महेश सरांनी आणि अमर सरांनी, की मग तो तुमचा फॉर्म जो तो युनिव्हर्सिटीला इन्वर्ट केला जाईल आमच्या पोर्टलमधून. आणि तो इन्वर्ट केल्यानंतर तुमच्या लॉगिनला तुमचं जे एक्झामचं लॉगिन आहे त्या लॉगिनला तुमच्या इथं पेमेंटची एक लिंक ॲक्टिवेट होईल आपोआप. तुमचा फॉर्म जेव्हा इथून इन्वर्ट होईल कॉलेजमधून तेव्हा तुमची पेमेंटची लिंक जी आहे ती ॲक्टिवेट होईल, आणि त्या पेमेंटची लिंक ॲक्टिवेट झाल्यानंतर तुम्हाला त्या युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या पोर्टलवरच त्या लिंक थ्रू तुम्हाला ऑनलाईन पेमेंट करायचं आहे. बरोबर आहे. आणि एकदा तुम्ही पेमेंट केलं की मग ती प्रोसेस ही तुमची कंप्लीट होणार आहे. समजतंय?
ओके सर, थँक्यू.
सिंपल प्रोसेस आहे. फक्त यावेळेस कसं की सगळं ऑनलाईन केलेलं आहे त्याने. तुम्हाला फिजिकली त्याची प्रिंट काढायची गरज नाही किंवा कॉलेजमध्ये येऊन सबमिट करायची गरज नाही किंवा पैसे तुम्हाला कॉलेजमध्ये येऊन जमा करायची गरज नाही. ऑनलाईनच तुम्ही युनिव्हर्सिटीच्या पोर्टलवर पेमेंट करू शकता. ठीक आहे. ओके देन व्हॉट विल स्टॉप हिअर.
तर मॉक टेस्टचा पासवर्ड आणि युजर ID नाही आला तर एक्झाम कशी द्यायची?
नाही, तुम्हाला जर का ID पासवर्ड, मी तेच मगाशी म्हटलं की जर का तुम्हाला ID पासवर्ड आला नसेल किंवा जुनं ID पासवर्ड यूज करून जर का ते होतच नसेल तर मग काय तुम्ही देऊ शकणार नाही, आणि ते कदाचित तुमच्यासाठी
शेड्यूल
नसावं.
रिवाइज होईल का मग सर? त्यासाठी आमच्यासाठी पण शेड्यूल रिवाइज होईल का सर?
कदाचित मग तुमच्यासाठी परत नवीन मॉक टेस्ट देऊ शकतील ते, बरं का, सांगता येत नाही. परंतु ठीक आहे, तुम्ही एकदा ट्राय करून बघा. झालं तर ठीक आहे. ही मॉक टेस्ट म्हणजे काही फायनल नाही आहे. हे काय तुमचे मार्क कुठं काउंट होणार नाही आहेत काय. परंतु मॉक टेस्ट कशासाठी आहे की तुम्हाला एक समजावं की परीक्षा कशा पद्धतीची असणार आहे. तुम्ही युजर नेमला क्लिक केल्यानंतर कुठं ID पासवर्ड टाकायचा असतो आणि मग कशी ती